This is my canoe cart that I built for easy storage of the canoe and the accessories for the canoe under the deck. So here's the porch, the deck, and there's about 4 feet of space under there that I built the canoe cart specifically to fit under. And this is a car top storage box that I found someone had thrown out, and that's what I use to store like life jackets and other accessories for the canoe in. And the rest of it is built out of aluminum extrusion framing and aluminum bars, and then PVC pipe to actually touch against the canoe and these support bars on the side. These wheels I'm using here are flat free wheels. Prior to that, I was using some cheap Harbor Freight inflatable tires of the same size, like a 10-inch tire. The problem was that those Harbor Freight tires always got flats. Every time I'm going to pull it out, they got flats. I even tried to put flat free stuff in there, but the air just kept leaking out of those. They're just too cheap. And so those flat free tires are awesome because I don't have to try to pump up these tires each time. A little bit more expensive, but totally worth it for this. Here you can see the crossbar that goes underneath, and the PVC pipe that sits on top of the crossbar, and these pieces here that go up. These vertical pieces, they're just a threaded rod that passes through the PVC pipe, and here you can see the piece of aluminum that goes up into the PVC pipe too. So the PVC pipe just sits on top of the aluminum, and a threaded rod is drill a hole in the PVC pipe and pass the threaded rod through, and then put this piece of PVC pipe on top there, so it just kind of rolls along when you roll the canoe. Now the canoe is held, when you're rolling this cart, you actually use the canoe as the handle for it, so the canoe has to be held in place. So I've got these little straps here that are attached up inside the canoe on the bottom there, and those keep the canoe from coming off of the cart while you're rolling it. Here you can see the front of the cart. Underneath you can see the other extrusion crossbar that's making a kind of a squarish frame on the bottom, rectangular frame. The axles for the wheels are just threaded rod, again, that is drilled through this extrusion frame and bolted on both sides with a nut. So clamped them down on both sides of the nut, and then it passes through the center of the wheel and just another nut on the other side, on the back side. I did a little bit of welding here to make a bracket for the end to attach this aluminum bar, and so that's just a flat piece of flat stock that's attached on there, and then it's braced with a triangle. There's a triangle brace going back here, so that's what keeps it strong and upright. When I'm ready to use the canoe, all I have to do is pull it out from under the porch and the cart follows along with it. So this makes it easier to maneuver from the backyard where the porch is to the front yard where I'm going to load it onto the car. So in the past, I used to have to either struggle with one person, drag it on the ground, or use two people to carry it across the yard to the car and load it up onto the car. Now I can easily roll it there by myself while the rest of the family is getting ready, and I can be getting the canoe onto the car. In this case, I'm going to put it onto my van, which has a custom built rack on the side, which I've designed to be able to load a canoe up with using only one person. I have a whole other video dedicated to this custom van rack. Here I'm just going to show a quick use of it. So the first thing to do is I have to unstrap it from the van. So I use these tie-down straps just to hold it onto the side of the van, and then it hinges at the bottom, and it allows me to either lift the canoe straight up off the ground or lift it straight up off the mobile canoe cart. So I'm using these ratcheting tie-down straps, and these are actually self-recoiling ones, which are really convenient. You don't have all the loose end to deal with, and a lot faster to use. And they just clip on to the frame of the van rack. And then once the canoe is tied down to it, all I have to do is just lift the canoe up, and it pivots at the bottom of the rack on the van. So it makes it very easy for one person. I just have to be able to walk around that cart to put it up onto the van. Once it's up on the van, put that tie down strap back around and hook it back up to the railings that are attached to the side of the van. And I usually use 2 to 3 tie down straps there just to make sure that it's nice and secure. This one here is a ratcheting strap, so I can tighten it up super securely against the side of the van. I'll add a second set of ratchet straps to the canoe if I'm traveling longer distances or at higher speeds. Then in this storage box underneath the canoe, I keep the things like I was talking about, like keep the life jackets ready to go and some paddles. Here using some kayak paddles. I also have some canoe paddles. And you can store whatever else you want in here, but be careful. Don't store things that can rust easily. Like this ratchet strap was in here attached to that strap, and it rusted because it's probably poor quality rust protection. But this has been in here the same amount of time, and this hasn't corroded much. The screw's been in here, that screw hasn't corroded. This is steel pipe, you know. It's just that even though no water gets in here, it still is humid and it's contained, so humidity can get to the stuff. Although look at most of the rest of this hardware is okay, but this ratchet strap is just poorly protected from moisture. Also, maybe since the strap was wrapped around it, it was held in moisture or something. But other than that, it's a good storage space for canoe accessories. Leave a comment if you would like me to publish a video and more details, instructions, dimensions on how to build this cart so you can build your own canoe cart for storage and transport. Check out my other video where I show how the canoe rack for my van works and how I built it. I specifically designed it to be able to load and unload a canoe with only one person.